A lot of people think you have to wait for the warm spring sun before you can even touch a seed packet, but they're actually missing out on a huge opportunity. Some of the most stunning flowers in my garden are the ones I toss into the dirt while the air is still crisp and the ground is just starting to wake up. These plants are the ultimate lazy gardener's dream because they honestly prefer the chill and practically take care of themselves from day one. I've narrowed it down to my absolute favorite varieties that I've been sowing every late winter with zero stress. By starting now, you're letting nature do the heavy lifting, giving these beauties a massive head start before the summer heat kicks in. So, grab your gloves and let's talk about these effortless blooms that will transform your backyard into a sea of color without you breaking a sweat. Yes, we are kicking things off with the legendary sweet peas, because honestly, no late winter garden is complete without that incredible nostalgic fragrance wafting through the air. The main reason I prioritize these is their surprising love for the cold. They actually need those chilly nights and damp soil to develop a deep, robust root system before the spring sun gets too intense. If you wait until it's warm to plant them, they often get stressed and fail to bloom, so sowing them now is the secret to get those long, lush vines. They are incredibly tough survivors that can handle a light frost without blinking, making them the perfect first move for your bed gardens. I love how they practically beg to climb. So as long as you give them a trellis or simple fence, they'll do all the hard work of reaching for the sky. You'll find that the more flowers you cut for your indoor vases, the more the plant will push out new blooms, giving you a continuous supply of color. It's a low-effort plant with a high-end reward, providing that classic cottage garden look with very little intervention from your side. Truly, sweet peas are the pioneers of the season, proving that sometimes the best things in the garden come to those who don't wait for the heat. Next up, we have poppies, and let me tell you, these are a complete game changer if you're tired of digging holes all day. The main reason I'm telling you to grab these now is that poppy seeds actually need that freezing and thawing cycle to wake up properly. It's like nature's own alarm clocks using the cold to crack open the seed coat so they can finally start growing. You don't even have to bury them. Literally just toss them onto the soil or even over a patch of melting snow. As the moisture moves, it pulls those tiny seeds just deep enough into the earth for them to take hold. They develop a long taproot almost immediately, which means they hate being moved. So sowing them early in their permanent home is the best move you can make. It's one of those rare plants where the less you mess with it, the better it performs throughout the season. Once they bloom, they'll even drop their own seeds for next year, setting up a self-sustaining flower show with zero extra work. Moving on to Larkspur, which is exactly what you need if you want some serious height and drama without the headache of high maintenance plants. I always make sure to get these in the ground while the air is still crisp because they crave that winter chill to break their dormancy. While some plants struggle in damp, cold earth, Larkspur thrives in it, using that time to build a solid foundation for those massive flower spires. It's a brilliant way to bridge that gap in your garden when the early bulbs are fading, but the summer flowers haven't started. I love that they have this wild but sophisticated look that makes any backyard feel like a professionally curated estate. You'll notice that when they start in cool soil, the stems grow much thicker and are less likely to flop over in the wind. There are also fantastic self-seeders, so you'll probably find little volunteers popping up next season without you spending another dime. It's a high-impact flower that delivers months of beauty while asking for almost nothing in return from the gardener. Now, if you want a plant that's basically indestructible, you've got to try bachelor's buttons because they are as tough as they come. These things are incredible survivors. They can handle a hard frost one night and a sunny afternoon the next without even flinching. The reason I love sowing them in late winter is that you get that rare electric blue color long before most people start their gardens. They aren't picky about soil quality at all, so they're perfect for those problem spots where nothing else seems to grow. Beyond just looking great, they're a massive hit with pollinators, so your garden will be buzzing with life the second they open. They also make fantastic cut flowers for your kitchen table, and the more you pick them, the more the plant will bloom. It's a low-risk plant that delivers a huge payoff for very little effort, making it a staple for my late winter routine. You'll appreciate how they fill in the gaps with a sea of color that stays vibrant well into the early summer heat. Next on my list is the cheerful calendula, which I honestly think is a must-have for every single garden out there because of its incredible utility. I always get these in early because they're surprisingly frost-tolerant, often becoming the very first plants to bring some serious color to a brown yard. But it's not just about those bright orange and yellow blooms. This plant is a literal multitasker that works hard for your entire ecosystem. The petals are completely edible and great for homemade skin salves, while in the garden, they act like a literal trap crop to keep pests away from your veggies. These seeds are uniquely shaped and very easy to handle, so you can just tuck them into the dirt and let the spring rains do the heavy lifting. They're so vigorous that they'll stay blooming well into the fall, giving you the longest possible bang for your buck this season. It's a beautiful, functional, and resilient plant that just makes the whole process of gardening feel much more successful and rewarding. You really can't go wrong with a flower that protects your food crops while looking that good at the exact same time. If you want something that looks like it belongs in a fairy tale but grows like a weed, you have to try nigella. I love sowing these in late winter because they actually prefer the cool, damp start to develop those delicate, feathery leaves that give them their dreamy look. You just scatter the seeds on the surface and let the shifting temperatures do the work of waking them up for you. The jewel-toned blue flowers are stunning, but the real prize comes later when they turn into these funky striped seed pods that look amazing in dried arrangements. They are incredibly hardy, so you don't have to worry about a sudden cold snap ruining your progress. Once you have them in your garden, they tend to self-sow reliably, meaning you'll have a fresh crop every year without spending another dime. It's one of those plants that adds a layer of texture and mystery to your beds with almost zero maintenance. Truly, nigella is the secret weapon for anyone who wants a sophisticated garden on a lazy man's schedule. Most people buy these in plastic pots from the store, but sowing them yourself in late winter gives you much tougher plants that can handle anything. These little guys are the true champions of the cold, and I've even seen them blooming with a dusting of snow sitting right on their faces. By getting the seeds in now, you're allowing them to establish a deep root system before the spring rain kicks in, which leads to a much longer blooming season. They are perfect for tucking into the edges of your containers or along the front of your garden paths to provide that first pop of color. I love how versatile they are, coming in almost every color of the rainbow to suit whatever vibe you're going for this year. They are surprisingly resilient against pests and don't require much more than a little sunlight and moist soil to keep them happy. If you let them drop their seeds, you'll often find tiny volunteers popping up in the cracks of your sidewalk next year. It's a low-cost way to get a massive amount of charm in your garden before the rest of the world has even started planting. Snapdragons are way tougher than people give them credit for, and starting them in late winter chill is the secret to getting those tall, sturdy stems. While they might look delicate, these plants are actually cold hardy and can survive temperatures that would kill off most other spring annuals. I find that when they start in cool soil, they develop a much more vibrant color palette and don't get leggy like the ones started in a warm greenhouse. Kids absolutely love playing with the flower heads that snap open, making it a great plant to get the whole family interested in the garden. They are fantastic for pollinators, especially bumblebees, who are the only ones strong enough to force their way inside the blooms. You can find them in heights ranging from tiny border plants to 3-foot-tall giants that make incredible cut flowers for your home. As long as you keep deadheading the spent blooms, they will keep pushing out new spikes of color all the way into the heat of summer. It's a nostalgic, reliable plant that brings a lot of personality to the garden with very little effort on your part. A lot of gardeners wait until it's hot for cosmos, but sowing them during the tail end of winter actually creates a much more resilient plant. By letting them experience the natural transition of the seasons, you're encouraging them to grow a thicker stalk that won't flop over when the summer storms hit. These are the ultimate pollinator magnets, and your backyard will be buzzing with bees and butterflies the second those airy, daisy-like flowers open up. They are incredibly prolific bloomers, and the rule here is simple. The more flowers you cut for your vases, the more the plant will produce. They aren't picky about soil at all, often blooming better in poor dirt than in highly fertilized beds, which saves you money on soil amendments. I love how they sway in the breeze, giving the garden a wild, meadow-like feeling that's very relaxing to watch. Because they produce so many seeds, you can easily collect them at the end of the year to save for next season. It's a high-impact flower that delivers months of beauty while asking for almost nothing in return. To round out the list, we have alyssum, which is basically a living honey-scented carpet that fills in every bare spot in your garden. I always sow these in late winter because the tiny seeds are surprisingly tough and love the cool, moist conditions of the early season. They grow quickly into a thick mat of white, purple, or pink flowers that act as a natural mulch, keeping the soil cool and suppressing weeds. The scent is absolutely intoxicating, especially on a warm spring afternoon when the breeze catches it and carries it across your porch. It's a fantastic filler plant that makes your garden beds look full and finished without you having to spend a fortune on mulch. They are very low growing, so they won't compete with your taller flowers, but they provide a vital habitat for beneficial insects that keep your garden healthy. If you're looking for a way to make your garden smell as good as it looks, this is the one plant you can't skip. It's the perfect finishing touch to any late winter sowing list, proving that the smallest seeds often have the biggest impact. Starting your flower garden in late winter is one of the most rewarding shortcuts you can take to ensure a vibrant landscape. It's a simple way to work with nature's natural rhythm rather than fighting against the elements later in the year. These 10 varieties prove that you don't need a greenhouse or expensive equipment to achieve a spectacular and professional floral display. By focusing on these resilient beauties now, you're allowing yourself to enjoy the gardening process without the usual stress of delicate seedlings. As these seeds begin to wake up in your soil, they represent the very first signs of life and color that will soon take over your yard. I hope these favorites inspire you to get out there and start sowing your own backyard masterpiece while the air is still crisp.